This is how every economy collapses. Most people think economies collapse suddenly, like a switch flips, like one bad day, like a single event. They imagine riots, headlines, panic. But that's not how it actually happens. The real collapse is quiet. It happens while people are still going to work, still paying bills, still saving money, still trusting the system. And by the time it feels obvious, it's already done. Because every economy collapses the same way. Not with chaos first, but with comfort. Let me take you back. Not to scare you, not to predict the future, but to show you a pattern that repeats every single time. Because history doesn't repeat perfectly, but it rhymes. The historical pattern. Let's start with ancient Rome. Rome didn't fall because people stopped working. It didn't fall because trade disappeared. It didn't fall because people gave up. Rome fell while it was still powerful. The streets were busy. The markets were open. The army was massive. But behind the scenes, something changed. The government started spending more than it could afford. Wars, infrastructure, promises. At first, it was fine. Then the money started running out. So instead of raising taxes too fast, which causes backlash, they did something smarter. They quietly changed the money. Coins used to be solid silver. Then they added copper. Then more copper. Then barely any silver at all. Same coin. Same name. Less value. People didn't notice at first. Why would they? Prices slowly went up. Wages lagged behind. Savings bought less every year. The economy didn't crash. It eroded. By the time people realized their money was worthless, the system was already broken. Rome didn't collapse in 1 year. It collapsed over generations. Now let's jump forward. Germany, 1920s. After World War I, the country was drowning in debt. Instead of defaulting outright, they printed money. A lot of money. At first, it felt good. Debt got easier to pay. Spending increased. People felt relief. Then prices started rising. Bread that cost 1 mark cost 10, then 100, then 1,000. People were paid in the morning and rushed to stores before prices changed again. Savings vanished. Middle-class families were wiped out, not because they were reckless, but because they trusted the system. The economy didn't collapse because people panicked. People panicked because the economy had already collapsed. The pattern so far. Different countries. Different centuries. Same steps. 1. Debt grows. 2. Money gets diluted. 3. Prices rise. 4. Savings lose value. 5. Trust disappears. Every time. No exceptions. Now let's talk about today. Here's where people get uncomfortable. Because modern economies don't look like Rome. They don't look like 1920s Germany. They look normal. Grocery stores are full. Apps work. Paychecks still come in. And that's exactly the point. Modern collapse doesn't look like disaster. It looks like stress. It looks like working more and affording less. It looks like saving money that doesn't feel safe. It looks like prices rising faster than pay. It looks like people saying, I don't know how I'm falling behind, but I am. Sound familiar? Today, money isn't backed by gold. It's backed by trust. Trust that governments will manage debt. Trust that currencies will hold value. Trust that tomorrow looks like today. But trust is fragile. And when money can be created with a keystroke, history tells us what usually happens. More money. Same amount of stuff. Prices go up. Slowly at first. Then faster. Here's the key thing most people miss. Modern collapses are managed. They're stretched out. Instead of sudden pain, you get long-term pressure. Inflation instead of default. Lower purchasing power instead of outright failure. It doesn't feel like collapse. It feels like life getting harder for no clear reason. Why people don't see it coming? Because collapse today doesn't announce itself. There's no alarm, no countdown, just little changes people explain away. Prices will come down. This is temporary. Things will normalize. That's what people said in every collapsing economy, right up until they didn't anymore. The final stage. Every economy reaches a point where money stops being trusted. Not all at once. Not by everyone. But enough. People stop thinking long-term. They stop saving confidently. They stop believing numbers on a screen mean security. That's when behavior changes. That's when the system quietly breaks. Not from panic. From disbelief. Soft conclusion. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. History doesn't tell us what will happen next, but it clearly shows us how systems fail. Slowly, quietly, while people are still living normal lives. Every economy collapses the same way. Not because people are bad, not because they stop working, but because money loses meaning. And once that happens, everything else follows. Not overnight, but eventually.